I was a container tracker. If you've ever seen big trucks, they actually have like a container, and it tends to have letters on it like NICU or CLCU, and then there'll be a number, and that says who that belongs to. And I used to track those all around the world. One day, I have these bills of lading and these purchase orders and stuff that I track all these things by, and I started to recognize that there were a set of orders that seemed to be scattered, like a batch of orders should be consistent. I knew there were errors, and it scared me because I had been working this batch for some time before I discovered that they weren't all lined up going to the same place. And I had to get the courage to tell my boss about this. And I'm thinking, in one way, I hope I'm right, and in one way, I hope I'm wrong, because this is just not good. And so I handed it over to him, and it took about an hour and a half for him to be sure. And he made some phone calls. And after that, he had his door closed. He went off. He was yelling at the stevedore, at the truckers. And as it turned out, there had been errors made in this huge thing. It was a huge order. There had been errors made all along the way. Because of more than one error that happened, this order had been ultimately filed in to 3 or 4 different destinations. The problem is that those containers, they get stacked in layers on the ship, and the stacking of the layers had already started. And they had to unstack about 3 layers of those containers to get to the ones that were going to the wrong place, to then put them on the right ship. I didn't know if I might be going to get fired because I didn't know it wasn't all my fault. The point is that at any time along the way, other people probably notice that. The people loading the things onto the ship probably notice that. But it's having the courage to be able to say, man, I'm doubting that this is right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just one example how when we have a sense that something's out of alignment, or when we have a sense of something that really needs to be done in order for something to go well, but no one wants to be the one that rocks the boat. No one wants to be the one that says, this doesn't feel right to me, I'm not sure. And so part of what we're being invited to do is trust that instinct and debut our doubt. Shine the light on it and say, hey, this is how this feels to me. Is there anyone else that's already also feeling this kind of uncomfortable?